Hi friends, welcome back to math today. Happy Friday. Today we are going to continue doing what we kind of did yesterday in our math book, but just in a different lesson. So our learning target's going to be the same, so we get more practice and get these numbers sticking in our brain like peanut butter. Let's go ahead and read our learning target together. Ready? I can, count, and color, to show numbers 1 through 3. Numbers 1 through 3. Very good job. So by the end of this lesson, you will have practiced all those things like you did yesterday, counting and showing numbers 1 through 3 by coloring boxes to match how many objects we counted. Today, we are going to turn in our math workbooks to page number 13 for our solve and share. We'll do 13 and 14 together for our solve and share and guided practice. And then your work today will be number 15. And we'll do number 16 with that challenger together today. So for this lesson, what you will need is your math workbook, a pencil, and a crayon. Go ahead and pause the video and grab the materials that you need. All right, friends, welcome back. Today we're going to start with our solve and share on page 13. And as we did yesterday, if you have a hard time writing in your workbook, you can have the adult that is with you tear out both of our pages that we're going to work on today, so it's easier for you to write and color. All right, so let's take a look. On this solve and share sheet, I see 2 birds' nests and 2 different color birds. We have a red bird and a blue bird. And it says that both birds went out searching for some worms for their babies, and they brought them back to their nests. You can see inside of the nest the outlines of circles. What we want to do is count those circles. Those circles are the pretend worms that they went and grabbed. So we are able to count and see them better. We're going to color them in. So I want you to take your crayon that you brought with you, and let's start with our red bird's nest. We're going to color 1 worm and 2 worms. How many worms did the red bird bring back to the nest for their baby? 2 worms. Very good. So let's color 2 boxes to match our 2 worms in the nest. Remember to frame and color. We also talked yesterday about how we start at the bottom and fill in the next box so that our eyes don't get tricked trying to figure out how many there are. So I have 1 box and 2. If you need to pause the video to give yourself more time to color that nice and neatly, go ahead and do that now. Okay, let's look at our bluebird's nest. Let's count how many worms the bluebird brought back. Ready? We're going to frame it and color. We have 1 and 2. Oh boy. How many worms did the bluebird find? If you said 2, you are correct. Excellent job. Just like with our red bird, we're going to color 2 boxes to show that we know there were 2 worms in that nest. Remember to frame first and color nice and neat. 1, 2. Ooh. You guys are rocking it out. Awesome job. Now, before we turn the page, I have one last question. Look at both of those birds' nests. Do the red and the blue bird have the same number of worms in their nest, or did one of the birds get more than the other? The red bird has 2. The blue bird has 2. So if you said they had the same amount of worms, give yourself a big old kiss on the brain. Excellent job. You are correct. All right, let's go ahead and turn to page 14, our guided practice. All right, this is where we're going to switch between using our pencil and our crayon. So we're going to start by marking out how many birds we count. We mark them out as we count to make sure that we didn't skip any or that we don't count too many. Okay, so we're going to start on number 1. All right, here we go. Let's count and mark out. Ready? 1, 2. How many birds are there? 2. Good job. Let's take our crayon and color those first 2 boxes. Remember, we're going to frame one at a time so that we can count. 1, 2. We don't want to scribble scrabble all 2 at one time. We want to count them one at a time. Great job, friends. If you need more time, pause the video for yourself and then you can start it again to move on to number 2. All right, for number 2, let's count. Ready? 1, 2, 3. I love the way that you're marking out your birds with just one line through it. Very good. So we have 3 birds in this group, and we're going to color our boxes to match, starting at the bottom. Here we go, one at a time. 1, 2, and 3. Great job. So now, let's say that those 3 birds are covered up on your screen and your mom who's working with you says, how many birds did you just count? Well, if your birds are covered up, you could say, look at my chart, and she should be able to see, oh, you have 3 boxes colored. That means that you had 3 birds. Great job. Okay, are you ready to get started? We're going to skip page 15. You're going to come back and do that on your own. Excuse me. We're going to come on over to page 16. Okay, page 16 has some die. So dice are, when we roll, there are 6 different sides to a die, and each side has a different amount of dots. When there's more than one, we call them dice. When there's just one, we call it a die. So on this page, we see some die. We're still going to mark out and count the dots on them so that we can figure out how many we've already counted. With our pencil, let's go ahead and get started on number 9. I see 1 dot, so I'm going to mark it out and say 1. Then I'm going to take my crayon, and I am going to frame and color just 1 box. Okay. Good. Then I'm going to do the same thing for number 10. If you need more time for number 1, pause the video and then jump to number 10 with us. Okay? All right, number 10, here we go. 1 dot, 2, and 3. So let's frame and color 3 boxes. I know yours is going to look much neater than mine since you're doing it on your paper. Okay. Now, you guys are such pros, and I have faith in you. I want you to pause the video and do number 11 and 12 by yourself, and then start it again for our challenger. Go ahead and pause the video and do numbers 11 and 12. Then start the video again when you are finished. All right, friends, welcome back. Check your work with mine. I did number 11 and 12 also, and I marked out my dots as I counted, and then I colored my boxes to match. We're going to go ahead and do our challenger before I send you off on your own to do page 15. So our challenger says that we are going to draw two counters in two different ways. So with your pencil, let's use our pencil first before we color so that if we make a mistake, we can just erase. All right, let's draw two circles. Ready? 1 and 2. Now we want to show 2 in a different way than circles. So since we've done dots, let's do 2 dots of our own. Ready? Let's make 1 and 2. So now we know we have 1, 2 circles and 1, 2 dots. 2 different ways to show that number. All right. So we're going to go back to page 15, and you're going to do this page all by yourself, counting and marking out and coloring to match. And this is the page, friends, that you will post to your teacher's Google Classroom. Okay? So again, remembering your learning target right here, you're going to count and color to show that you know the numbers 1 through 5, which you have been rocking out like rock stars. So keep it up. We'll see you next week for math.